Hey guys, welcome to lesson 8.6, solving logarithmic equations. So before we start, we should look back onto the log equations and log laws that we've learned. Base exponent equals a, log base a equals exponent. And we can remember our product, quotient, and power laws to solve logarithmic equations. Let's get into the first example. Log base 3, 3x plus 2 equals 3. Our first step would be to convert this into exponential form. And we can do that using these equations here. We have b, which is our base, which is equal to 3 here. Our a is what's inside the bracket, and e, the exponent, would be 3. We can see a is 3x plus 2 equals base exponent. So our base is 3 to the power of our exponent 3. What you can do is now solve for x. So 27, 3x plus 2 equals 27. And then what we can do is move that 2 to the other side. 3x, 25. 5 by 5 equals 25 over 3. And that is your answer. Let's move into our second example. So here we have log x2 plus 1 plus log x minus 1 equals log 9. So here we have a log plus a log with the same base. And if there's no base number here, you can assume it's log base 10. If we look back to our log product rule, we have log xy equals log x plus log y. What we can do here is we can combine our like terms and put log 2x plus 1 times x minus 1. So the brackets are multiplied together equals log 9. What we can do is actually cancel out the log. So when you have a log equals a log with the same base number, what we can do is just cancel out the log and we are just left with the other terms. So we don't have to deal with the log anymore. So what we can do now is actually just solve it as you would a regular quadratic equation. So what we can do is FOIL these two brackets. So 2x squared minus x minus 1 equals 9. And to solve for x, we have to set the equation to 0 like you would a regular quadratic equation. So 2x squared minus x minus 10 equals 0. And what we can do now is solve for x, so we have to use the product sum rule. So 2x squared plus 4, x minus 5, x minus 10 equals 0, and 2x, x plus 2, minus 5, x plus 2 equals 0, 2x minus 5, and x plus 2 equals 0. What we can do is solve for the x's. So x plus 2 minus 5 equals 0, so 2x equals 5, and x equals 5 over 2. And then this one here, we have x plus 2 equals 0, x equals negative 2. So here we have our two answers, our two x's. What we have to do now is check to see if any of these would result in a negative log. You cannot log a negative number, and that answer will be invalid. So we have to check for the validity of the answers. What we do that is by substituting the x with the answers. We can start with a negative 2. So log 2 negative 2 plus 1 plus log negative 2 minus 1 equals log 9. Log negative 3 plus log negative 3 equals log 9. We have here a negative log, and if you try to put a negative log in your calculator, you'll see that it shows up as an error. Therefore, negative 2 is invalid. What we can do now is check for 5 over 2. So log 2, 5 over 2 plus 1 plus log 5 over 2 minus 1 equals log 9. This is log 6 plus log 1.5, which will equal log 9 equals log 9. We have both positive logs, so therefore x equals 5 over 2 is valid. So your answer is x equals 5 over 2. Example 3. The loudness L of a sound in decibels can be calculated using the formula L equals 10 log I over I0, where I is the intensity of a sound in watts per square meter, and I0 equals 10 to the negative 12 watts per square meter. So calculate the intensity of a sound if the sound level is 50 decibels. So for the first step, we can substitute L for 50. So 50 equals 10 log I over 10 to the negative 12 because I0 is 10 to the negative 12. First thing we can do is actually make the 10 to the negative 12 positive by moving it to the numerator. So 50 equals 10 log 10 to the 12 I. So after this, what we can do is divide both sides by 10 to get rid of this 10 here. So divide by 10, divide by 10. So 5 equals log 10 to the 12 I. Our next step is to convert this to exponential form. And I have written down here the base exponent equals a, log base a equals exponent. So our base is 10 and our exponent is 5. So 10 to the 5. And we have a, which is 10 to the 12 I. What we can do is just isolate for I. So divide both sides by 10 to the 12. And what we have left is I is equal to 10 to the negative 7 watts per meter squared. And that's it. The steps for solving a logarithmic equation. 1, collect all the logs to one side. Step 2, convert logarithms to exponential forms. And once you have your answer, check for any negative logs because you cannot log a negative log. So as a summary, logarithmic equations can be converted to exponential form to be solved. So when you have log m equals log n, then you can cancel out both of the logs to be left with m equals n. I hope you enjoyed my lesson and found this helpful. See you next time. Bye.